As the battle in the crypto sphere continues to heat up, the giants at the top wage for that number one spot. Who is going to come out on top? That all comes down to the news and the things that happen over the course of the next few months. It's going to be exciting to cover this and continue to watch as we see history being made before our very eyes. And I do want to make sure to be clear as well. So a lot of the things around this channel are involving Dogecoin, but we have been extraordinarily successful when it comes to picking cryptos of the week, more than 25 times the rate of the market. And so with that, we've gotten very, very good here at finding some of these hidden gems and also being able to decipher the news that's happening. So yes, we're going to talk a lot about Dogecoin and the awesome things going on with that, but this is definitely a place where you can come, all of us can come together and we can see all of the biggest stories in all of the finance and cryptocurrency world all together in one place. Instead of having to go to all these different sources, literally all of it here at one time. Hopefully we can have some fun, throw some entertainment and some interesting roasts in there. But at the end of the day, if you come away from the Final Stand show and you know a little bit more than you did before, that's a massive W right there. And sometimes I learn a lot from the chat as well because we have a lot to talk about, especially right now. As we've seen, take a look at this. So one of the first ever country cryptocurrencies, I believe it could be the first one. If there's another one, let me know. But Dubai now debuting their own cryptocurrency valued at 17 cents per coin. And this is kind of a little bit of a big moment because this is one of the first times we're actually seeing a country, a government, saying, okay, well, you know what, we'll just make our own crypto. What exactly does that mean though? Because the whole point of crypto is to get away from the control and the centralization of the normal current systems. So if they're making one, what exactly does that mean? It's going to be interesting to continue to watch this and see where they go with it. But if you didn't know about this, now you do. Dubai? Is the USA next? What are we going to see with that? The USA right now, they've said multiple times they're considering doing something along those lines in the future. Maybe, but they don't have any immediate plans to do it. And so it'll be bad, I think, if we see every government trying to do it, because that's going to create a ton of confusion around the space. So I hope it doesn't happen too much. If it does, though, then overall, I mean, at the end of the day, people still have to choose to invest in the crypto for it to work. And I don't think people are going to choose to invest in the government ones nearly as much as the ones that currently exist. As we're seeing this, Chinese Bitcoin traders still wield enormous influence despite Beijing's 4-year crypto crackdown. And here's a pretty insane stat. In November of 2015, about 92% of the Bitcoin trading was done in the Chinese currency renminbi, which I've never even, it's just, I've never even heard of anything like that. 90-something percent, 92%. I mean, oh my gosh. And that was in 2015. It's changed drastically since then. Way more people are buying from all across the entire internet. But that gives you an idea of just how kind of far off we are from the news we're hearing about China and what's actually happening. China is playing a huge role in cryptocurrency. And it's a little bit silly that these news stories continue to come out when they are kind of doing the exact opposite with what they're doing. Right now, you can still buy and sell cryptocurrency as a professional trader in China, and that's what the majority of people there are doing who are trading, but it's a huge section of it, and it's actually relatively easy to become a, quote, professional trader in China. It doesn't take much at all to do that, and so these laws that are in place aren't exactly real. I don't think China has any intention to fully get rid of cryptocurrency in the near future, even though for some reason they want to be kind of portraying to the world that they are. Perhaps it's manipulation, and we've been talking some about that, and we'll get more into the future. There's definitely to some degree that element. Bitcoin traders using up to 100-to-1 leverage are driving the wild swings in cryptocurrencies. 100-to-1. That is just absolutely crazy. 100-to-1 is something that I would not recommend anyone looks at doing because you are taking such a huge risk with that. If you get margin called on 100-to-1 investing and you don't have the ability to pay it, you're going to be in some pretty hot water. So do not do this unless you are unbelievably good at trading, even still probably not worth the risk. But that right there gives you an idea that we maybe are seeing a little bit of inflated prices, when it comes to some cryptocurrencies. And I believe a lot of that has just been popped. That big fall we saw, China and all of the news around that was definitely part of it. Elon Musk and the news around that, with Tesla stopping to accept Bitcoin and stopping to really support it as much. Yes, that's part of it, but this too was another big factor. Mark Cuban actually calling that out, but that's kind of what he means by that. So many people borrowing money from their exchanges to then go and buy cryptocurrency. Well, It's not really truly buying cryptocurrency because you're buying it with borrowed money. You got to pay it back anyway at some point, unless you make money, then it's a little bit different. But yeah, that kind of gives you an idea of where some of that downfall is coming from on top of the news. Ban cryptocurrency to fight the ransomware. This is an article coming out that we're going to have to pull the roast music for, because a roast is very, very much deserved for this right here. This article saying, ban cryptocurrency to fight ransomware. They basically said, cryptocurrency, it doesn't have any value. What's the point of that? All it does is makes it easier for people to go ahead and use ransomware on other companies. But what they are failing to understand is that right now, cryptocurrency is at the beginning stages. It already has many advantages, including being a store of value that can actually hold as a hedge against inflation. It already has other values on top of that as well, including being able to spend it in an easier way than a lot of other currency systems. And that right there, though, is what's going to improve the most over time. As people start to adopt it and use it more, that's going to go drastically better. And so this is why articles like this are just failing to realize that this is the future, not just the present, and it's going to continue to get better. On top of that, only a tiny percentage of the ransomware and things like that, of all of the cryptocurrency transactions, that is only a tiny percentage of it. And another thing to keep in mind too, remember when we saw the $5 million ransomware attack on the pipeline and then they actually ended up paying it? Come on, you really expect for that to be not an inside job? I mean, it seems so clear to me, because why in the world would they give the $5 million and then the people who did the ransomware attack not just say, okay, no, give us more? What would they have to lose at that point if it's completely anonymous? Then we also saw it going out of that account into a new one, and they said it was hacked or something along those lines. None of it really added up. It didn't really make any sense. I think that was an inside job. And I also would encourage people to continue to look at the actual stats and data when people try to argue things like this, because so much of what they qualify as, quote, ransomware is really just an untraced transaction that has no ties to ransomware or no ties to illicit activity. And yet they still classify it as that simply because of the unknown next to it. When in reality, it could just be little Timmy going to his grandma's coffee shop and buying some coffee with Bitcoin. By the way, shout out to Timmy's grandma for being ahead of the curve and accepting Bitcoin at her coffee shop. Definitely an awesome thing to do. Timmy's grandma, if you want to come on the show, you're welcome anytime. Let me go ahead and read a couple of these chats here. To the moon from George. I like the sound of that. Also, we have another one here from George. Thank you so much for that. Has no one told you? Oh, interesting. No, I've not heard about that yet. I'll look into it. Much news, much exposure. Doge father to the moon from Trenton. Thank you so much for the chat. As we continue to see the views just going crazy around this entire Dogecoin and cryptocurrency movement. So many awesome things happening there. We just broke the record, I believe, for the largest Dogecoin or the largest Twitter spaces ever. And that was only yesterday. So we're coming off of some pretty cool things that happened. Yes, it's technically debatable as to if we did or not. Maybe we didn't, but I believe we did. I have not seen any screenshots of someone who got a higher one. At the end of the day, it's just a record. It's only that's all it is. It's a record, but I'm pretty proud of it. I think it's cool. As we're also seeing, so this is the dude who wrote that article. I mean, I think we have to pull the roast music once more and go ahead and roast Lee Reiners, because Lee Reiners clearly, he needs some constipation medicine for his brain because he's not thinking straight. What's the deal with this? What in the world? So he's trying to kind of get the tie and suit look while at the same time having a very bright background. I don't know what the deal is with that, but at the very least, I think, Lee, you should definitely stick to other finance news and things like that, because you don't really know what you're talking about when it comes to cryptocurrency. Banning something like that, not only would it be impossible to fully do, but it would make the world worse overall. It would give governments way more control over the currency systems than they deserve to have based on their track record. So Lee, get roasted a little bit right there. Let me read a couple more of these chats here. And thank you as well for joining the members level for YJR971. Much news, much wow. On the 8th day, God made Doge. Coming in from Ed from Queens. Thank you for the chat. Amazon nears deal to buy Hollywood studio MGM. Jeff Bezos finally getting ready to realize his dream of becoming a supervillain in a movie. He's been waiting for so long. Now he can finally make that happen. They're buying the studio And the crazy part about that is MGM stock for the resort ended up skyrocketing a decent amount, approximately 15%, simply based on this news. Hilarious stuff coming in, kind of reminiscent of the time when Elon Musk made that random stock skyrocket like 500% in a matter of minutes, and then continued going up even higher than that after talking about a different thing that had a similar name. So always be careful if you are going to invest. Keep in mind that it may be a different name, so always do that extra level of research. Bitcoin could touch 300,000, says BTC's China's Li. Bobby Lee, BTC China co-founder and CEO, says it's a bull year for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency could touch 300,000 as he was speaking to Bloomberg's Matt Miller. 300k Bitcoin would require it going up a massive amount, approximately a 10x from where it is now. A little bit less than that, approximately an 8x from where it is now. And for that to happen, it would require some unbelievably bullish news to come out. Tesla would, of course, have to start accepting Bitcoin again. Then on top of that, we'd have to see big institutions starting to offer packages with cryptocurrency. We'd have to see the overall experience with buying and selling things with Bitcoin likely getting better. And that is a huge ask for Bitcoin. Yes, we do know that oftentimes the final levels, the 8th and 9th inning of the bull runs, is when we typically see some parabolic type of action that can really just go crazy and take it to heights that were never thought possible before. So that's something we're going to look out for and we're going to hope for. But at the same time, I think if we do see that parabolic action, which I'm hoping for and I'm expecting has a decent chance of happening, then I'm hoping also it's going to be more of the altcoins that are getting that attention. Ethereum, Dogecoin, the other altcoins that have that same store of value as Bitcoin, but also the currency value as well, which I think is the best part. Yeah, then thank you so much for joining on Bronze, the final countdown. I'm reading some of these comments here. You got the notification and tapped it fast. Nice. Elon, if you're listening, my suggestion for Doge is to scale mining rewards with remaining supply, creating a variable soft cap. Caps that are soft are definitely more comfortable than caps that are hard. But at the same time, I don't think changing the entire numbers behind that when it comes to mining Doge is the smartest thing to do. The smartest thing to do is most likely just leave it where it is, but then make sure the coding behind it continues to get updates, making it stronger, secure, more secure, and making it easier to actually integrate it with other third-party platforms. That's where Dogecoin really can continue to shine, and where Elon has a huge opportunity to help Dogecoin if he wants to do so, which it seems like he does. 420 BCS. Oh, nice. Oh, I see. So you're saying that's your Twitter handle, 420BSC on Twitter. Nice. From Danilo, 300,000 BTC's China Li. Right now, the entire cryptocurrency space, and first we'll go and touch on Dogecoin here, at a current price of 355, is gone up approximately 1 cent since we started going live. It seems like that always happens. Every time the notification goes out, I've always noticed it seems like most of the time we'll see Dogecoin going up a little bit, which I think is funny. I hope it's not caused by this, but it may be. My Coinbase wallet got hacked today from Crypto Tankero. That's not good. Sorry to hear that, and I don't know how that's even possible. I did not hear about that in the news, so it must somehow maybe double check with him. Yeah, contact them. EloninTheChat.com. I donated to the 4 kids. That's funny. Yeah, we had the number 4 trending hashtag on all of Twitter, not just the For You section, on all of Twitter, with Elon in the chat yesterday from our massive Twitter spaces that potentially broke the record. Should we just say it did? You know what? We'll just say it broke the record. Until someone shows us that we're wrong, we'll just say it broke the record. So we broke the record, which was a lot of fun. Dogecoin right now. Value transacted in the last 24 hours, 2.91 billion. Average transaction fee, $1.02. So we're still seeing it being very competitive when it comes to the transaction fee with a lot of the other top ones. But I would like to see that going down even more. And with Elon Musk's plans to 10x in multiple different areas, including the fees, including the structure behind it, 100x overall, 1000x even, if you combine all those numbers, the 10x plus the 10x plus the 100x, it would 1000x where Dogecoin is, which is extremely ambitious, perhaps too ambitious to even accomplish. But just trying to stride toward that will definitely help Dogecoin get a lot better than where it is right now. Even if it's not able to get fully to those goals, it will get, at the very least, part of the way. 24-hour high is 37 cents. So Dogecoin having some big movement today, approximately a 5-cent swing. A lot of volume is going on with Dogecoin right now. A pretty decent amount of people are looking at opportunities right now to go in and out of the market. $46 billion market cap is where Dogecoin's currently sitting at, with volume in the last 24 hours of 6.24 billion, meaning that we have approximately 10 or so cents of sway way there going up or down. Not a ton of risk at this current point in time putting money into Dogecoin unless some really bad news comes out. I don't see Dogecoin really dropping much. I see it staying around this level for a little bit longer before we see another massive leap. And remember, when Dogecoin was at around 8 cents, it stayed there for a decent amount of time, a number of weeks before we saw any movement after that. And there were the comments on the videos. What were they starting to say? Remember, some people's comments were saying, all right, well, we've been waiting a while. What's going to happen with Dogecoin? When is it going to spike again? And we continue reminding people, a lot of us in the comment section, be patient. Big things are coming in the future, and we're continuing to say those same things now. But this time, those things are going to be even bigger than the last time. The last time we saw it going up from 8 cents to all the way at its top of around 75, close to 80 cents. So if we see a similar 10x from where we are now, we could see Dogecoin going up above $1, above $2, maybe even higher than that. And with these extremely bullish Bitcoin predictions coming in, there's no question that a lot of that energy is going to be focused on the altcoins as well moving forward. Here's the current ranking. Cardano, number 5, Dogecoin, number 6, Binance Coin, number 4, Tether, number 3, Ethereum, number 2, Bitcoin, number 1. Market caps right there, 712 for Bitcoin. Ethereum, only approximately half the size of Bitcoin right now, which is kind of crazy when you start to consider the fact that just toward the beginning of the year, Bitcoin dominance was so unbelievably big that all the other altcoins seemed tiny in comparison. So to now see Bitcoin at significantly less than 50% of the entire market right there, that's just, I think it's cool. Some people maybe won't be too happy with that. Right now it's 43% Bitcoin dominance, 18.8% Ethereum dominance, which means close to 70%. A huge amount. Close to 70% of all of the money in cryptocurrency right now is only in 2 coins. 2 coins. And that, of course, has to change. It's inevitable. It's not going to stay with this much dominance at the top for forever. Ethereum, at one point in time, was one of the smaller ones. It didn't have a lot of attention around it, and now it's there. So that just goes to show you how much can change over time with cryptocurrency. And my prediction as well, this is kind of bold. I believe we're going to see Tether going to $1. I mean, I know it's kind of crazy. It's far out there. Maybe I'm going to get roasted for this absolutely wild prediction, but I think Tether to $1, it's inevitable. We are going to see that happening. It's destiny. It is destiny for Tether to go to $1. Former White House advisor joins Coinbase as chief policy officer. The government and cryptocurrency meshing together. Oh no, that can't be good. That can't be good. What's the deal with this? So we saw his name is Faryar Shurzad. I've never heard of him before. I don't know what this means. Does this mean we should be worried? Does this mean we should be okay with it? I looked into it a little bit. It doesn't seem like anything too crazy. It seems like he's just trying to make more money, and that's something people in government typically do. Perhaps also Coinbase. This is where the actual angle comes from. Maybe Coinbase wants those inside scoops with the actual people in government. Former White House advisor. We've seen people like Nikki Haley being hired by Boeing and other things like that. If you are working in the White House, then you make connections in the White House. And when you make connections in the White House, you have the ability to then talk to those people into the future and get things you want. So this could be a lobbying move from Coinbase. Coinbase may, at this current point in time, be trying to get good ends with the government, make good relationships, so that then they can make sure cryptocurrency isn't banned. If that's the case, I guess it's a positive thing. Sometimes, though, that will be used in a negative way. We don't typically want to see too much lobbying in government because the banks can do the same thing. The banks and the people in institutional positions of power that hate cryptocurrency can literally turn this right around on us. And so overall, I think the best thing is to not have that, at least not overwhelmingly. At the same time, though, it's going to happen anyway. So at the very least, we need some people on our side. And Coinbase seems to be working on that angle there. Let's get Elon Musk. Elon Musk do the same thing. By the way, Elon Musk donating to pretty much every single political figure he can possibly find to donate to try to get them to be on his side too. So Elon Musk is part of that lobbying. He donated to literally every single party. It seemed like it's kind of crazy how far his reach was when it comes to donating. That's smart. He's doing the right thing there from his perspective. It shouldn't be that way though. You shouldn't be able to bribe your way into getting what you want from the government at all. But as long as it's happening, I guess we just want to see our own things. I mean, selfishly, we want to see our own things, meaning cryptocurrency doing well. We'd like to selfishly see that being something that's being lobbied for. M_family Frenchies on IG. M_family_ Frenchies on IG. Accepting Doge via BitPay. Love your content and Doge. Dogecoin to the moon from Dustin. So there we go. You saw the chat right there. If you want to go buy some with Dogecoin, you're welcome to check that out. Welcome to the Crypto of the Week level as well from YJR971. So you just joined and then you decide to upgrade upgrade your membership. I like the sound of that. You're going to love the Crypto of the Week level, I believe. We're about to post that next one very, very soon here. And it's going to be exciting. It really will be. Elon Musk, as well, defends himself over claims he was treating Dogecoin like he owns it after calling for improvements. And this right here is, I think, just silly. Elon Musk is one of the best things that's ever happened for Dogecoin. He still continues to be that. And so all of the hate is just a very, very small minority of the reaction Elon Musk is getting for this. Most of it is love. Most of it is people talking about how much they appreciate him and how much we all love what he's doing. This kind of reminds me of that Taiwan thing where a bunch of people got trapped underground and Elon Musk came in to try to help. And he got some hate for that because people said, well, Elon Musk, why are you trying to help? You're not an expert on this. Well, he was just trying to help. And with this, it's even the next level up because he's not just trying to help. He's actually offering resources and he's offering his expertise in an area where he knows very, very well what he's talking about. And so it's going to help. Another chat coming in. My business, Haverito Remodeling in San Diego, now accepting Doge to the moon. There we go. If you're in San Diego, you're welcome to check out Haverito Remodeling. From Grumpy Cat, Zachariah O'Brien. Interesting stuff coming in. As long as you're accepting Doge as a business, you're going to get, especially if you leave a chat and you're accepting Doge. You deserve a shout out for that. And I think all of us are going to look at your business first before we look at other ones. If there's two businesses, both of them are good. One of them accepts Doge or other cryptocurrencies and the other one doesn't. It's an easy choice. We don't even have to think about it. Is Bitcoin craze coming for your 401k? This right here is where we could see a lot of the biggest movement forward with cryptocurrency, because we're going to see more and more in the future packages of cryptocurrency for long-term investing that are going to be offered through institutions, meaning that you can just say, okay, I want to invest in cryptocurrency, period, without having to pick a specific one, and you're going to get a percentage of each of the cryptocurrencies toward the top there. Dogecoin will likely be included since it's at the top. Ethereum will be included, Cardano will be included, Bitcoin will be included. You'll basically get an entire range. And so with that, that's going to cause steady increases in the price over time. A lot of people aren't even thinking about this, but it's one of the most valuable things for cryptocurrency altogether. ETFs, 401ks, investing long-term, and combining that with cryptocurrency, making it a perfect match. It's a match made in heaven. It really is. And I'm excited about that for the future. If you're not excited about it, then that just means you have not been watching Final Stand, I guess. By the way, what do you think about that? We have our very own like button right there in the back. So it's a reminder that we should be pressing like to help this video go out to more people. But now that it's up there, I don't really have to say like as much because now we have the button there. The button does the work for us. And when you have buttons doing things that buttons do, then you are, of course, taking a massive W. And that would be us right now. We're taking a big W. What happened to Litecoin? My 35,000 turned into 15,000. Yeah, Litecoin not doing so well recently. And I think most of that was just simply based on the fact that Litecoin and Bitcoin and Dogecoin all have a lot of similarities when it comes to the coding behind them, because Litecoin was forked off of Bitcoin, Dogecoin was forked off Litecoin, and yes, there are some things changed about it. The things changed about Dogecoin from its Bitcoin fork are what makes Dogecoin so valuable. The 5 billion that can be mined a year, the 129 billion currently in circulation, that gives it such a big advantage into the future. Also, the mining structure is better and the way that's set up. So there are differences, and those differences make it what causes it to be a good currency. But yes, Litecoin not been doing so hot, unfortunately. And mostly that's just because a lot of cryptocurrency fell, and Litecoin, because it was already a little bit artificially high in some regards, since it's not even now the top Litecoin coin, then that's just caused it to fall a lot. My business, Farm Yoga and Farm Yoga Rainwater in Coastal Texas, are also accepting Doge. We're already all in on crypto. Woohoo! From Farm Yoga. There we go. All these chats where people say you're accepting Doge, that's one of my favorite things to see. Doge 1 Moon will be the most viewed event in recorded history. You may be right about that. That's another thing people need to continue to think about. It could be very, very, very viewed. Also, of course, China's anti-Bitcoin. Look at what happened to Jack Ma. I don't even need to offer analysis on that. Just put the title out there. There we go. That's the title. Of course, China's anti-Bitcoin. Look what happened to Jack Ma. We won't even talk about it. But there we go. It's out there. We put it out there. You can do some research on that if you want to. I think doing our own research on that is the best thing. Trying to analyze it, we'll go a little bit too far, maybe. we don't want to go too far. China's Bitcoin mining crackdown skews crypto's basic supply and demand economics. And the reason why we don't want to go too far is because there's so much randomness around that. I don't think we'll get it right. If I try to give too much insight on that, I'll probably get something wrong. And that could be really, really bigly wrong. And so we're not even going to try. We'll just leave the article out there. China's Bitcoin mining crackdown, though, skews crypto's basic supply-demand economics. Yes, that's absolutely true. And so because we've seen many Bitcoin miners going dark there, it kind of has messed with the cryptocurrency space. And the best thing about this, though, is that it's not going to last forever. As we've seen more and more mining happening elsewhere, those fees will go back down. The cryptocurrency space will come back to a normal equilibrium, as is the natural course. Your towing company in Stony Plain, Alberta, Canada accepts Doge as well. We are the first to do this. Tow for Doge, hashtag tow for Doge, to the moon. I love it. See, there we go. It's just a beautiful thing to see all these chats like that. You can't go wrong with accepting Doge. You can only go right. I mean, why Ethereum co-founder sees Elon Musk's plan for scaling Dogecoin as infeasible. Another article coming out about this. We already basically went through this rumor and dispelled it. So I think it's about time articles like this stop coming out. Benzinga, though, they have written a lot of positive stuff about Dogecoin. This one isn't exactly negative. They're just covering it because they know it's going to get clicks. And that kind of makes sense, I guess. Been accepting Doge on, oh, interesting, since 2018. I love it. From Rocklin coming in. You've been accepting it since 2018. There we go. There's your username, NEGASH83. That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, seriously though, that's serious. Like, props to you for that. Since 2018. Still impressive though. It's still impressive. That's when I first invested in Dogecoin, was 2018. That's a long time, and you've likely seen that being one of the best investment decisions you've ever made as a company, is to start accepting it. It's just smart. Like, if you didn't do that, you would have made significantly less money based on what that currently is worth over time. Anyway, I think this was a pretty dang good show because we had some extra information in there. Typically speaking, we've had, or at least in the last few episodes, we've had so much to talk about when it comes to Doge that we kind of haven't been able to focus as much on the other big stories. But the other big stories are kind of what makes the cryptocurrency train as a whole move forward. And without those, we're not going to see nearly the same things that we'll see moving forward with cryptocurrency as a whole. So I'm going to continue to talk about all these big things. Check your DM as well. Okay, yeah, let me take a screenshot of that. I will check it right now, and we will see what that is. A Dogecoin movie. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, why not? I like the idea of that. But anyway, I'm Matt Wallace. This is Final Stand, and I will see you in the next video.